Hello, this is video number 10. It's about the endocrine system, the function of the endocrine system, glands and hormones. Okay, up till now we've been looking at the nervous system. Now, the nervous system is one way that information travels around the body, but it's not the only way. Information can also travel around the body via hormones, because hormones are chemical messengers in the body. Hormones are made by glands. There are many different glands in the body and each one makes different hormones, and the glands release their hormones into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream pumps the hormones all through the body where they have various different effects. And the glands which make and release the hormones are collectively called the endocrine system, and they are controlled by the brain. The hypothalamus is located deep within the brain, right in the middle, and it controls lots of the housekeeping functions of the body. For example, it makes us hungry when we need to eat food, when our blood sugar drops to a certain level. It makes us thirsty. It makes us wake up at the end of the night and makes us go to sleep when we're tired. It regulates our sex drive, our body temperature, lots of different sort of internal kind of housekeeping functions in the body, and it is located right in the middle of the brain. The hypothalamus also controls the endocrine system via its connection with the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is also located right in the middle of the head, and it is sometimes called the master gland because the pituitary gland controls the whole of the endocrine system. The hypothalamus controls the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland controls all of the other glands. The hypothalamus is linked to the pituitary gland via a little stalk called the infundibulum. Now, the pituitary gland does produce some hormones of its own. For example, it produces human growth hormone. And human growth hormone, when we're children and when we're in our early teens, is released by the pituitary gland, and that makes us grow. And at a certain point, in the middle of our teenage years, we stop producing human growth hormone and we stop growing. The pituitary gland also produces oxytocin, and oxytocin produces uterine contractions during childbirth, and it also has a role in social bonding. But the pituitary gland, as well as producing these and other hormones, also produces hormones which have one single effect, which is to stimulate another gland in the endocrine system in a different part of the body. So that's why the pituitary gland is called the master gland, because as well as producing its own hormones, it produces hormones which stimulate other glands as well. One of the main glands in the endocrine system, which is controlled by the pituitary gland, is the adrenal gland, and that's situated on top of the kidneys. It has two parts, a medulla and a cortex, and much more about the adrenal gland in video number 11, which is coming up. The pituitary gland also produces a hormone called follicle stimulating hormone. And follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the gonads to produce our sex hormones. So in both males and females, follicle stimulating hormone is produced by the pituitary, but in males it stimulates the testes to produce testosterone, and in females it stimulates the ovaries to produce estrogen. And these separate sex hormones give us our secondary sexual characteristics. So follicle stimulating hormone is common to both males and females, but it does a different job in both males and females. It stimulates different endocrine organs. I'd like to show you this other thing
that I do online, which is called the Graveney Social Sciences Background Reading Database, or GSBRD, or gssbrd.wordpress.com. Basically, it's a database of links to background reading in predominantly psychology, but also the wider social sciences. So if you're interested in some background reading, or just want to build up something for your personal statement, have a click on here. There, the psychology of addiction, you click on addiction in the tags and it brings up a variety of links to books and articles which include things about the psychology of addiction, and it tells you where to get each one. This one is an article in the New Scientist. Equally, you can search the database, psychology of religion, for example. You type that in, bang, off you go, and there is a variety of links to books and articles and things of background reading which were suitable for A-level psychology students. That's a category of book, so these are just longer books if you're interested in a more substantial piece of reading, or you can click on different categories. For example, the podcasts. Most of these you can click through to, and this one is a link of things which actually exist physically in the Graveney School library. So if you're at Graveney School, you can read any of those straight away. So there it is. It's useful. It doesn't contain the whole articles, apart from the online ones, which you can click through to read most of the time, but what it does do is tell you where to find these books and articles if you're interested in doing a bit of background reading for interest or to build up something to put on your personal statement.
Another important gland in the endocrine system is the pineal gland, and that is also situated inside the head, and it produces a hormone called melatonin, and that regulates or helps to regulate our sleep-wake cycle, and much more about that in year 13 in video number 5 or 6. So this video has been about the endocrine system. It's been about how the hypothalamus controls the endocrine system via its connection to the pituitary gland, the master gland, via the infundibulum. And it's been about how the pituitary gland releases some hormones of its own and releases other hormones which stimulate other glands in the body to release their hormones.